Welcome to Free Range American.
Hi. Do I get to introduce real quick?
Yeah, you can introduce.
Okay.
You can introduce.
This is my pizza delivery guy that I've invited into the house quite a few times.
I gotta go.
Dude, I'm excited for today. I was thinking on the way over here as well. Eli has never been on the show really.
Oh wow!
Ever
a single time.
So Eli, obviously BRCC family member, does a lot of video editing and a lot of creative work, and obviously on the viral marketing team. Eli_double tap everywhere.
Not a single time has he ever been on a show. What?
So I've been on the show as much as Eli.
Yeah, I'm just calling ourselves out.
For a while. You started that with family, and then we don't
have a guest this week. Eli's kind of like, today's my day.
Well, the problem was I saw on the Matt Demolition Ranch episode we need a little diversity, so we brought in the Asian Mexican to really, help the panel out today. And then, of course, our guest today is Baddie. He is a Army veteran, Army sniper. We'll get into that a little bit. And also,
sniper.
Where you at? Top 40 in Twitch right now?
Right now, I'm top 50. I was 30th, though.
Boom.
Until Jake and Logan Paul started streaming, and then they just screwed the entire list.
They took it from me immediately,
which is cool. I'm excited for this because I want to dive into Twitch streaming, video games, and all of that because we alluded to it a little bit on the Demolition Ranch.
This is our Twitch special.
We'll do a Twitch special because
we've got two Twitch experts. We got two Twitch noobs.
We have one Twitch expert.
Is that you?
Yeah, it's me.
Oh, okay. You're calling out Eli.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Baddie. Thank you for your service.
What are we going? You can't just say numbers is what makes you an expert, because if we're going technicality and knowledge, I believe somebody has been a regular at TwitchCon a lot longer than you have.
Who?
Eli.
Eli's been more TwitchCons than me?
Absolutely.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, I have.
You're lying.
No, I've been.
You didn't go last year.
No, not last year, but
You didn't go
the
the year
years
before.
before. Yeah, I did.
You're lying.
Nope.
He's not. See? Look at
I was
that.
going to call his bluff. I don't know.
You're like,
I have no idea. I'm just
how many
going
have
for
you
it.
been to, Baddie?
3.
Is this
all right? See, they're equal.
Why are we having this competition right now?
But your 3 was not last year, which means
let's just do it.
you were a year before Baddie.
Actually, when did you start your Twitch?
2017.
Oh, weird. Mine was 2014. No big deal. Yeah, I'm not partnered yet because my stream schedule is terrible, Baddie. I actually work for a living.
Are we shaming? Are we shaming
This is how
him?
this starts.
Well, no,
he
it's
was
okay.
delivering pizzas.
I could rebuttal that to Eli and say I have a real job too, and I got partnered in 2 months. So
hi, I'm Matt Best.
Even though Eli built my whole stream deck, put everything together, and showed me how to do it, so I just have to press.
And
the
then
button.
there's me, who probably never will see partner.
Right.
I'm surprised
you'll
I haven't been
before
banned
you.
yet.
You'll have it before Eli. Don't worry. You'll also lose it before Eli. But
let's dive into that a little bit. So if people don't know, Twitch is one of probably top 5 streaming platforms out there, I guess, outside of general social media. It's a way for people you can just chat, communicate with live viewers, or you can play video games. And I'm not saying this is because we're friends, but you've ruined a lot of Twitch streamers for me because you're so fucking entertaining, man. What you've done to show how engaging and awesome a live stream can be is rad. I mean, you got the lights that play with music. You got, fucking 1,900 monitors. You have, how many cameras do you have set up? About 4 or 5?
9.
9 cameras.
Holy,
9 cameras.
I did not.
I have 6. Sorry, 8. I have 6 static and then 2 mobile cameras, basically.
Okay. How did you get into streaming? Because I know right now, I mean, we were discussing this earlier. A lot of all the hubs like GoXRs and all these other kind of things that assist the streaming platform are completely sold out right now.
Yeah,
because a lot of people that especially musicians, we've talked to a lot. They're getting into streaming because their revenue is just fucked right now. And I mean, you said 2017? Just one day you're like, I'm going to start playing video games.
So how I started streaming is kind of first of all, Eli, can you make sure you tear me apart every time Matt talks me up more? Yeah, I need to be leveled out.
He needs
here.
that nice balance.
Done.
But to
right
Matt's, to Matt's point,
up.
I've even found myself, I put your shit on now every time I see the notification. I just let it play wherever I am, which I'm not going to admit that right now. Go ahead. Roll that back. Just go ahead and delete that. I don't listen to this fucking asshole.
No, it's like Baddie's going off of what Matt said. It's just that super engaging. And now with the hype trains, you get up and you actually sing a whole song, you dance. Obviously, it's not helping. But
hey, don't let him body shame us, because I take that insult for both of us.
Oh, man, yeah. So I started streaming by accident, I guess. I made a venture into YouTube very end of 2016 that failed miserably. I mean, like after like 6 months of making videos.
What were the videos about?
Just games. It's like Let's Plays, gaming shit. Just like what I do on Twitch, but with people.
And who weren't funny.
Yeah, they were not funny. And we ended up like gaining like 80 subs in like 6 months. It was super oversaturated content. There was nothing unique about it, and so everybody just gave up, and that was that. And then like 9 months later, a year later, I was bored as fuck. I had 3 weeks off from work because I didn't take vacation, so I took December off playing a brand new game, Escape from Tarkov. You know, this is back when it was just barely becoming a thing on Twitch, and I just turned the shit on to show a couple of my friends at work this new game I've been playing, and then. For some reason, people started watching me back then. And even then, back then, it wasn't like I had 16 monitors and cameras everywhere. It was one shitty camera. The screen cropped incorrectly, so you couldn't see half of it. My green screen was all fucked up. I was sitting at a desk, and you couldn't see my face properly. It was a mess. But I still had the same stupid personality I do now, and people started watching it. And
well, it's cool that you invested in your platform because now when I watch, you know, I think there's like, you know, two types of streamers, people that want to be entertainers, and then you see like a lot of the pro guys that are just insanely good at the gameplay, and it's understandable why people watch them because it's essentially watching a pro athlete, you know, like play the game. So you're getting what's their gameplay, how are they, you know, what weapons are they using, their loadouts, yada, 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 yada. But you were cool because you actually incorporated great gameplay with entertainment. And I think that's the future because a lot of these streamers are going to have to up their game as that kind of market becomes more saturated, just kind of like YouTube and skit comedy. You know, there's 1,000 people doing the same shit. You got to stand out. And is that something you kind of take into consideration the whole time that you're streaming? Like, how do I keep up in this, or you just do you?
Stagnation is like the enemy of every streamer. You found something that did good for you. You succeeded. You grow, and then you stop. You just got to try to maintain.
You plateau.
Exactly.
Yes.
And people just think, I've done it. I've made it. I don't need to do any more. No, you need to keep finding that new. You keep finding that way to attract new viewers because you can't just expect the same people every day for forever. It's not how it works. People have lives. People are going to go places. It's like the seasons. In the spring, these guys are going to be here because work's slow or they're on vacation, whatever. And in the fall, where the fuck are these people?
Right.
So you need to be able to attract a new audience 6 months down the road. And what happens the next year? Are you doing the same exact thing you did then? You just always need to be upping your game, like starting with that one monitor. And he was like, I'm going to have a cool battle station. I like doing that. And I upped that. And I'm like, I'm just going to get louder and yell a lot. And I found a way to incorporate proper audio into my stream. And then I just kept ramping shit up until it is where it is now. And now I'm trying to figure out what to do next.
Well, you had the main thing that was interesting when we first started playing together. Baddie was working a full-time job all the time to help pay bills, and then you were staying up until 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., going to bed, waking back up at like 6 a.m. And I was like, you do this 6 days a week? You're like, I don't need sleep anymore.
Well, 7 days a week.
But seeing that drive that like you just had to just send it, and that's like building that stream up, doing everything like that. You're like, no, I'm not going to just settle or get stagnant. I'm going to hopefully leave this job and then continue this full time. And you did. I remember that conversation you had with me. Yeah. You're like, I'm quitting. I was like, good, man. I was like, YOLO that.
I love that perspective because you're an entrepreneur essentially. Even it's a different platform that I think a lot of people are confused by. Until I started streaming, I was like, who in their right mind would pay someone to play video games? But it's obviously there's such a want for it. And, you know, I think that entrepreneur spirit of doubling down on full-time job and then your passion and then slowly monetizing it and being able to wake up one morning and go, okay, shit, I can get 6 hours of sleep now instead of 4 like I was doing because I can leave my real job and do what I love and I'm passionate about. And that's a really cool thing.
But for those out there that are not familiar with Twitch, which I'm sure we have a lot of people in our audience that don't know about it, is I think it's incorrect to look at this as a platform for people to watch someone play video games because to me, I have been diving into this fascination of this is a program. This is a show. You've created a show. You look at Wayne's World back in the day. They were doing a cable access show in their basement. You now can do that with Twitch, and you have tools that you've never had before where you can cut to videos, you can have overlays, you can have transitions, you can cut to different cameras. You're putting on a full-blown program. that you would watch on a network now in your office, in your house, every night, and it's free for everybody to go on and tune in. And if they want extra value out of it or extra special things to pick the music that you sing to have you interact, they get to pay for up things. And they get to be a part of the program itself.
Yeah, that's a great point. So Twitch is essentially, like we're saying, a live streaming. It's free for most, unless you have you can't comment or you have to whatever to follow. But
yeah, you can block shit off, but for the most, it's free for the most part.
It's free, right? And you get to watch. But then, as you're saying, there's specific tiered elements associated with it that are paywalls that give more perks to the viewers, emotes, badges, and then the higher the tier, you can highlight messages and communicate directly to someone that they look up to. So it's a very weird world, and I think it's only going to get bigger. I mean,
yes,
it's exponentially
growth
growing, and
trajectory is crazy right now.
Everything that's going on right now in the world, the plague and everything.
Yeah.
Everybody's online. Everybody's online. The exponential growth I've seen over the last 3 months. 4 months. I mean, this year really has been unbelievable.
You know what's interesting, because I saw a couple comments that were like, it's dope to see military guys support gamers, and it's weird that I didn't know that was a thing that military people, or from their perspective, are degrading towards video games. I mean, that was part of me growing up, was playing war games because I was too young to join the military, and then even post-military, applying kind of the strategy and things I learned in the military to gameplay made it far more fun.
That would be a really fun one to go around the room with. Is what
Yeah,
are your
like
your three games that shaped your entire? Because we all grew up in the video game age. Nintendo came out when we were all around 6, 7 years old. And that's when it all started.
Yeah, you probably started on a Super Nintendo.
Well, I actually, the first thing ever my dad bought an Atari. I'll give mine first, and we had that little bounce game that was like ding.
Pong.
Yes,
Original Pong.
And then
Pong.
And there's yeah.
Now he's shaming you.
No, it wasn't Pong. There was another. Pong was that one, but there was another one with a sea horse or some weird thing, and then it had a
centipede,
a fart sound when he lost. I don't know. But my dad always got that. I started playing Mega Man and console, and then once computers became a thing, I remember as a kid watching one of my dad's friends play Doom, and I was like, what is that? I can run around and kill a fucking zombie Hitler with a chainsaw? This is awesome.
Do you remember any of the cheat codes?
Oh, man, no.
Do you?
No.
IDSPISPOPD, walk through walls.
Oh, wow. There you go.
IDKFA was infinite ammo.
Damn.
I didn't do a lot of Doom. I was so into StarCraft.
Yeah.
See,
I
still remember half the cheat codes.
But rewind that back, because StarCraft essentially came out of Command and Conquer.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was okay, let's do a fantasy version.
Yeah,
of
I played Command and Conquer
When Red
a lot.
Alert came out, that was a huge deal.
I've always kind of been on the bridge of first-person shooters. So I'd say my top 3 games.
Your Doom.
Tribes, I took really serious.
That was really cool, though.
My brother and I, Alan, we used to game way too much together. I played Tribes, and then I got into Counter-Strike, was huge for me. That's when I was in clans, and I realized there wasn't really money, but there was always clout associated with your team.
Counter-Strike and Unreal revolutionized your FPS today. Those 100%. Were the two. Those were the two that first really took Doom and Duke Nukem from where they were at and said, "Hey, let's bring in other people."
Yeah, and Quake, you just mix that, and that's when the first esports really started with Fatality. He's that OG gamer, the first professional gamer's Fatality from Quake, Unreal, and stuff. And this little kid, dad would take him to these tournaments. Kid would clean house, and the kid was like, "Oh, I won $60,000, Dad." And the dad was like, "Okay, son, this is what we're doing for the rest of your life."
Mine and Dave's hometown. I remember in 1999 they opened up this place of entertainment called Net Wars, and you could go in, and they were just land computers with a headset, and you could play Quake. And that was that blew our minds. It was $10 an hour. Holy shit, I can talk to you while we're fighting in a video game? This is out of control.
Well, it's crazy to see that progression for us, because a lot of the kids now don't realize what it was like back in the day. 56K modems, having to do dial-up internet, and then
getting it cut off.
No, your LAN parties were not on the internet. You had to physically bring your giant-ass computer and monitor and mouse and keyboard. Yeah, you remember going to your friends' houses, and 9 of you are set up and all over the place on folding tables and shit.
Busting out your mom's
compact. Okay, so I'll pick that last. The last game was Diablo 2. 2, and that was my jam. I played that, and it was actually because over the summers, that's all I would do. I'd ride my bike for like 5 hours and skateboard, and then I'd play video games for like 8 hours. And that was actually kind of like my first entrepreneurial journey. Really was. I mean, I've always done that in my life. Like, how do I monetize things I like? But I would level up characters to 80, and I would sell them on eBay with their things. And like, my dad was always confused back then. I was like, Dad, I made $60. I sold a barbarian at level 80, and he's like, come again?
Sorry,
and I'm like, I'm going to buy this new skateboard deck with it. So
my buddy, I remember he sold an EverQuest character for like $1,000, and I was like,
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here.
That was in high school. I used to power level my EQ characters. I had a secondary accounts, and I'd sell like every 4 months, make $1 grand off a new account. Sell it.
It blew my mind.
I mean,
Like,
I did
what
with
the
Diablo 2
fuck are you
characters,
talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. I got Diablo tattooed on my arm, man. Like,
Oh,
old
hell
school
yeah.
Diablo 2.
well, then I'll segue to you on that one, because I played Diablo 2, and then I really got into like Battlefield. That was my thing with my brother right when I got out of the military, because I was just working shift work. I would play for 8 hours a day and get banned from servers because we'd ride the Apache. I'd fly, my brother would mark, and we just demolish motherfuckers. But that was really like, I got into first person shooters. It's really all I play now. So what were your go-to games?
Yeah, what are
back in
the 3 games that shaped your life?
Diablo 2, easy, first one.
Iconic.
I the old school Battle.net, StarCraft as well, Brood War, and Diablo 2, Lords of Destruction. Those 2 games.
When you really break it down,
that
though,
life.
it's like you think about how much of your time in life did Diablo 2 take up?
A lot.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You get sucked into these things for months.
But think about the
And you're an
psychology.
addict.
But think about the psychology behind it, right? Yeah. When I would play Diablo, I would have 3 friends that I would play with, and we'd have a phone call, because back there you didn't have Discord.
It was phone.
Yeah, you're
You'd get a
essentially
group phone call going,
hanging out like this, but we're playing a video game at the same time. And so it's like, I think that it's weird that it took so long for people to get in like the streaming area and all this, because you're essentially just hanging out with friends and then doing an activity.
No, I had that moment the other night, like when me and my flight crew that I've assembled are all full afterburner, 2:30 in the morning. We've all been drinking, and we're in this valley, and I'm listening to "You've Lost This Love and Feeling," and 7 of my friends and I are in F-16s flying a fucking canyon together. It's like, holy shit, technology has come a long way, and this is really fucking cool.
So Diablo 2. What else? What else you got for us?
You said StarCraft?
StarCraft, Brood War, specifically Brood War.
Is that when Ghost came out?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was a big deal because you could go invisible.
And then I'm gonna say it's a tie. I don't care. Fuck you. Zelda, Ocarina of Time, or Majora's Mask. Both of them on the N64.
Oh,
okay.
I love RPGs. Like that is like where I'll just drop off the world for 2 weeks and I'm gone. You don't know where he's gone. I'm busy playing Skyrim or.
Well, then what got you into FPS? Because first person shooters. Because now you play Tarkov, which is an FPS.
Yeah. I'd say the FPS that sucked me in was Battlefield, or specifically Call of Duty. Mm-hmm. The original Call of Duty, Call of Duty 2. No, like World War II.
OG.
Yeah. Back on the original Xbox, or
It was like Xbox or PlayStation.
I think I had an original Xbox with a brick controller and all that. But that, because I didn't have a Nintendo or a Super Nintendo. I went straight from my Nintendo 64 to playing on my old school 1997 compact Basario with the giant monitor that I remember. Oh, I got in so much trouble. I ended up going to Best Buy to find a graphics card. And I had to like smuggle it into the PC. Like when I was like 4 a.m, my parents are asleep, and I'm tearing apart the computer trying to get a graphics card in because I can't play games anymore because it's just trash. And I remember it getting caught because I like didn't put it on properly. And they're like, "Why is the computer? What is this new NVIDIA? This is NVIDIA stuff you got on here."
I mean, I remember virus. I remember, like, first off, there used to be computer shows in the late 90s. So you would go to it's like a gun show, but it's a computer show. And
You're
it's
really
like,
dating us right now.
I know, well, my dad came home one time with a fucking 2.5-inch or 3.5-inch disc that had Doom on it as a demo. And that's how I knew what Doom was, because we had this demo from the computer show. But I remember remember that old CD-ROM package that came with like 600 games? It was like, put a CD-ROM in your computer. It'll now read CDs. And it's got the dinosaur game, the 3D dinosaur game. I'm like, I need this.
What about Turok? Yeah.
Turok's a good one. Yeah. You can tell how old you're 28. How old
Turok.
are you?
30.
Wow.
But you can tell by the age difference what system you started with. Like, Atari, Nintendo, N64.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. When
That is a
N64
5-year
came
gap.
out, yeah, and Blockbuster allowed you to rent one for the weekend,
Oh,
get
yeah.
the fuck out. Like, my uncle would be like, I rented the Nintendo 64. Ah!
Just stay with him the entire weekend.
Late fees, right? People
I'm
forget
not done
that.
the game. I'm not done the game. I gotta keep going.
Dude, my dad, my dad was just like he could not believe the graphics on Wave Race. He's like, the water, what the fuck are these video games coming around doing?
Did your dad play? I was lucky enough. My dad played video games, and that's back before you could download video games. You had to go get Blockbuster, and I was hoping my dad would forget about returning it because once it hit the full price, you actually just bought it, and then it was forgiven. So I was like, I hope he fucking forgets this game so I can play.
That's fucking funny.
What about you, Eli? What were your go-to?
Oh man, EverQuest.
That's a
life-defining game.
That's a time stealer.
That is my one character had 60 days played because it counted your days like
Holy
hours
shit.
to minutes, and it was like, oh yeah, here's my main character has 60 days played. My secondary character had 30, and then I just run through the extras to sell. Counter-Strike 1. Even
1.6?
before 1.6, like I
Yeah,
played back
beta.
in the day. That was my jam back in the day. I was poor and didn't have computers. But yeah.
I grew up pretty poor too, but my dad played video games, so I was super lucky because then when he had to go to work, I could play. So he would buy them for himself, and then I'd sneak on there and fucking play.
My Mexican dad just wanted to do construction. That was about it. It was great.
He was providing for the family.
He was. But I'd go to my buddy's house. We just played Counter-Strike. He had 2 PCs, so we just run through Counter-Strike and then Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, yeah, that's my jam.
you like Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah, weird. That's,
Whoa, why don't you back off? Because
weird.
I haven't gone yet.
Those are my 3 games. Easy.
Mine are super easy. I've followed these since they started, and I will continue.
Can I take a guess on one?
Yes.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Nope.
Fuck.
That's a good one.
I played a lot
That's a
of back in the day.
very, that's a very iconic. Yes, the remake. That's a very iconic, and yes, that shaped a lot of years. But as far as legitimately shaped my life, Final Fantasy VII.
Well,
I learned
Oh.
every single song from that game. I thought the music was amazing. I was completely sucked into the story. Like I still, Tifa and Aerith and everybody. Like fuck, dude, I love that story. Was amazing. I couldn't believe this is a video game.
Do you remember what the life energy is called in that?
Materia?
No, the Mako, right?
Mako. Yeah.
It's not called that. It's called Mako.
Oh, I don't like
lying.
that. No,
I
I'm going to
swear
go.
to God, I
lying.
swear to
You
God,
can't-
this is
Go.
Listen, that's when the remake came out last month, and they were like the Lifeblood Mako, and I was like, who the fuck says Mako?
I'm not accepting that. Like I had my own versions, like Materia. That's what I used to call it.
There's
I
no
want Dave. I want
CH in
Dave
this.
to over the YouTube video right now just to put a nerd level up. Like they're talking about Mako or Mako.
Yeah, but I mean,
whatever the fuck that
you're
is.
talking about. I learned every one of these songs on the piano. Like Aria's Theme, I thought was one of the most beautiful songs, and I had a burned CD disc because an orchestra in Japan redid all the Final Fantasy VII songs for a live orchestra, and I kaza'd it.
No, back in the day, dude,
I got on LimeWire and BearShare and got myself the Final Fantasy VII orchestra mix. Put it on a CD and listen to that on my Discman every day on the bus.
Wow. We all have really nerdy backgrounds.
Yeah, I know.
dang.
Crazy. Like, ooh, wait.
I
know
got
a lot
Sephiroth
about
tattooed
this.
on my arm too. Like
Sephiroth.
I got half the characters we've talked about on one arm at this point. So like Final Fantasy VII that's like
That's a jam.
damn.
And I also, I realized too, I was very honed in on only a couple characters. Like, I did not follow. Like, I fought with Cloud, Red 7, and Barrett.
Yeah, usually you had 3 characters. Like, no,
It was like,
don't
no,
need
I'm not even
anyone
fucking around
else.
with these other guys. Get out of here. My other 2 games.
Yeah.
Who wants to guess?
Oh man,
Wolfenstein.
it's got to be something flying or a jet ski.
Nope, not at all. It's Metal Gear Solid. I've been around.
Is that with snakes in there?
Metal Gear
What's a
Solid I
Russian
played on
gunship
PlayStation 1, the first Shadow Moses. Fell in love again. The story was amazing. I've bought every Metal Gear Solid game the day it comes out. I've loved it forever since 5.
Even Survive.
5 pissed me off so much because it got too, it was like, you've recruited an army and now your guys are sick. You got to go back to the base. I'm like, I don't want stress. I'm trying to be Snake. I don't want to worry about my fucking base.
Everyone's sick.
Let's be real though. We all know the one game that got us all into gaming. Oregon Trail.
Yes,
dude.
Number
Right?
of munchers in Oregon Trail.
Dysentery.
Yeah, your whole wagon is down. You're like, I'm fucking break this.
I'm floating the river. Fuck it.
Yeah, I'm floating the river, and it's like, your family's dead. Fuck.
And my final one is, and I started with one and will still follow this forever as I do, is Grand Theft Auto. When Grand Theft Auto 3 came out, and that was the release of PlayStation 2, like. Do you guys remember this? Like, did you remember?
Absolutely.
Like it was. I got PlayStation 2 for
me.
Christmas,
Not for the
and
better.
like Christmas morning, I'm putting in Grand Theft Auto 3 for the first time. The graphics, it's third
not that-
person.
yeah, it's not a top-down.
The graphics are amazing. Holy shit! This is like the coolest game ever.
I thought Grand Theft Auto was kind of like an antiquated game until I was like looking on Twitch, and it has more live viewers overall than actual Call of Duty Warzone.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit,
It's so
still popping.
that
RP,
computer play and
Role play. It's
the
really what's
expansion packs that they do on that have become so cool. Like you can go into bank robbing worlds, you can be a cop and go arrest people. Like it's crazy.
Yeah,
They
the
built
role-playing
a-
servers.
They built a
That's what
life.
it's all the role playing servers. People like basically can drop in. They make a character and they live that person's life. Like,
like
there's
Second Life.
lawyer. No, it really is. That's
really is.
exactly what it is, and that's why GTA is still so prevalent. Not because honestly, not because of all the updates or all the crazy. It's because so many people just want to drop in and fuck off with their life and be like live a different life. And it's crazy to see the stories
Yeah.
that these people write.
I think that's going to be like the weird progression in all of this is like the VR component associated with role playing because, you know, I mean, they've had Black Mirror episodes on it, but I think in 10 years, I
Ready
think a
Player One is
lot
real.
of people are just going to be living alternate lives in VR. Like,
Oh, yeah, they won't.
go to their job during the day and run home, put their mask on, and pretend they're someone else and
I
hang out.
cannot
with-
wait to get my Matt Beskin. Oh my god.
I'm
I am
still
at
waiting for
best.
Call of Duty to
I
let me
am
know
at
if I-
You become just a gay kingpin in Miami with your Matt Beskin.
Whatever.
You beat me to it. I was gonna say, I was like, and then
And then.
Okay.
No, I mean those are. They did announce Rockstar is working on a sixth Grand Theft Auto. Correct? Do we know anything about it?
I guarantee you, they'll just keep it secret, and then they'll spend. Grand Theft Auto 5 cost them, or was it 5's the new one, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
That was
newest.
$500 million game,
And that's almost 5 years
To
old.
develop it?
yeah,
$500 million to develop a game?
But they had
Whoa.
they cashed that out like first
It was
week.
like- I was
on-
saying it was the
first
weekend
week.
of
I think it was a
billions of dollars and
$2.1 billion release week. So they're like,
yeah, that's why they're like, because then they do the add-ons and everything else, and it's just cashing.
The
in.
money card where you can buy money in the game. Oh
Yeah,
my god!
you can buy money in the
some
game.
parents'
Yeah.
credit cards got fucked by kids wanting. It's like, Mom, I just need 2 more shark cards. It's $5 billion in game.
of them yachts.
Dude, that was like the most brilliant thing, I think, in business is when people went to free downloads on app-based games and then in-game purchases
Yes.
because it gives you that upper-level hand, especially when dad's or mom's credit card and they're like, what's $70, you know, fucking...
It says free. It's like, oh, the game's free. You don't mind those like in-game transactions. League of Legends, they $1.2 billion a year off a free video game.
Wow.
That's their revenue off of costume sales. That's to make your character look different. It doesn't help you at all.
Charlotte
just
came
that.
up yesterday with the iPad while we were all sitting there wanting to buy a game, and you look at it, it's like, this is $9.99 a week. No,
Subscription model games.
Well, that's that in-game purchase makes you almost feel like it's not real money. Like hypothetically or literally speaking, if I'm a couple of vodkas deep watching Baddie stream and I'm like, I'll give subs and switch to him, then I'm like, oh my god, I just spent like fucking $1,500.
the most money.
Oh no.
The most money I've spent on in-game purchases is that AC-130 gunship zombie game on your phone.
Oh my god!
They get you. It's like
It's like, get the better gun. Yes. It's only
99
$5.
cents. Yeah,
it's
It's
only
incremental. It's like
$5.
$2.90.
Yeah,
It's only $5. And then you see that transaction, like, oh, I spent $180
on fucking a phone
no.
game.
I'm trying to think like what game I've actually like bought like shit for the most. I think it was probably Clash of Clans. Like
Yeah, me too.
God, I
years
never
ago, man.
played that.
Dude, when I was
No.
a contractor playing Clash of Clans,
no.
because I'd get mad when people would bulldoze me and I'd get resentful, so I'd buy like $200 and I'd
burn
just
their
go
world to the
stomp
ground.
them to the ground. I'd be like, check out my 9 heroes, bitch.
Yep.
Oh god.
That got. It was a dark time for me. It wasn't great.
Far Cry. I did spend a lot of money on the on the upgrades in Far Cry to be able to buy the weapons packages and stuff like that.
Well, let's dive into your backstory, man, because not only are you a massive nerd and great entertaining Twitch guy, Baddie on Twitch,
you also are never deployed.
Here we go. Okay.
I'm
Served in the Army for 19 years. Never went to war.
A long time.
How much money did the government waste on you? You've been to every school.
Not every, just like a couple.
So, like, where were you born? When did you join the military? I'm curious about, like, your progression through the military. Like,
so, I still live in Vermont. I was born in Vermont. There's nothing in the state. It's South Quebec, basically. Big military family. I was actually trying to join the Navy, and because my dad's Navy.
Well.
Your sexuality, that does definitely
clear.
matter.
Like, there was a path for me. I tried
Navy
taking
people.
it.
We're kidding.
Yeah, just calm down.
No, we're not.
Just calm down.
No, we're not.
Daddy, get the mic out of your mouth.
Sorry, it's a habit. But so I was trying to join the Navy, and the recruiter skull fucked me. I did great. You know, I basically had any job I want. I was going to do some nuke tech thing, and they ended up changing my job on me without telling me. And I found out like a week before I was supposed to ship for basic. They just completely changed everything on me, and my options were either opt out or take the new gig. Because there was only like you can only have so many people go for this one position. It was like a 9-month wait again. I was like, fuck this. I don't want to start my military career getting fucked.
Infantry, that won't happen.
So I was working at a gas station like 3 days later.
You look like someone that would work at a gas station.
You look like someone that would eat at a gas station.
I do. That's where I met this guy.
That's how I met Baddie. Circle K pizza every night.
You know, between him and myself, we could put down 85 tornadoes and about 3 cases of White
Don't
Claw.
you tell me with a good time.
Yeah, you're talking about we're going to hang out front by the ice machine. What, you never hang out by the ice machine?
Of course I did, man. Where are you going to go smoke? Yeah. You wait till nobody's in the store, you walk out.
You throw that thing open, get cool a little bit.
I was in Vermont. You need to get cool. You just had nowhere else to stand. You know, you had to hide a little bit so the camera couldn't see you. You know.
Yeah.
But fuck yeah, so I was like, fuck the Navy. I didn't want to do it anymore. I was at a gas station, and an Army Guard recruiter came in like the next day. He's like, "Hey, join the Army." I was like, "Fuck it."
You're
literally how it happened. I was like, I wanted to do something. I was like, fuck it. He was
How old were you?
Next. 18.
18?
Yeah, just out of high school.
Wanted to avoid them anti-loitering laws.
Well, I mean, I wasn't going to college, so.
So you joined the Army. What MOS did you pick?
I was actually an 11 Chuck when I started. So
Okay, 11 Charlie?
Yeah, indirect fire
Tome
infantry.
missile? What?
What?
Huh?
Mortars, man. I wanted fucking just tubes.
That's what that Army was smart about. They're like 11 X-ray. That way, no one knows that they're going to be a Charlie, and then they make you a Charlie. I was so fortunate because there's a bunch of people in my basic training that got assigned Charlies, and I was like, oh God, no! I want to be a Bravo, man. Nothing against it. Mortars are great and all that, but no, thank you.
I was a mortar for basic training, and I got out, and then I was no longer a Charlie, so it didn't matter.
Where'd you get stationed? Like what unit?
I was Vermont Guard. So
Guard.
Oh, you were Guard.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was Guard the entire
So you
time.
went to the basic that's like 4 to 8 days?
Oh, it was actually just a weekend, so it was a Saturday, Sunday. You go home to your parents, your mommy, for a little bit, and then you go back for 2 more days.
The graduation, and then like
they allow your parents to hold your hands and you skip across.
So your mom at home puts the blue cord on you.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess you're infantry or some shit.
It's not blood.
I don't know. I
rifles,
got this from FedEx this morning, sweetheart. Let's go ahead and throw it on.
They pin them on with little safety cushions back, so when your blood rifle, so it looks real, but it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
So you went to a lot of schools into that. You were a sniper, right?
Yep.
So you went to sniper school, I'd assume?
Yep.
Cool.
So the Vermont Guard is like it's a mountain warfare unit. We actually have like the actual one of the Army mountain warfare schools in Vermont. So they like the 10th Mountain's always coming over to do shit with us there.
You guys got a mountain there?
1 or 2.
Okay.
Yeah, just it's a small. It's
not very
thing.
familiar with Vermont.
It's just Vermont
geology,
is just a hill, basically.
Geography.
It's like Vermont and Arkansas. Like I don't know anything.
I don't know.
about this.
I didn't even know Indiana was still a state.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, Arkansas.
I thought it was a city.
Yeah, I didn't even know Indiana was a state until
Sometimes
like 4 days
I call it
ago.
Arkansas because they spell it really weird.
They're weird there.
They're. I don't think they touch
What?
Vermont and Arkansas. No.
I
thought it was like Kansas. I was like, oh no.
I think they're pretty far away.
I don't know. I thought that's why you said Arkansas.
No, I was just saying, generally
I was
speaking,
like,
the
is
states I don't know a
Arkansas
lot
up in the
about.
north?
Jared's now thinking of
What number comes after 5?
Okay, Utah.
So how long did you spend in the Guard?
6 years.
6 years?
Yep. Yeah.
Dope.
I just did like a bunch of mountain warfare shit. That was like sniper school was kind of an accident. I got out.
You just tripped and fell and ended at Fort Benning?
Arkansas, actually.
Oh, you went to the Arkansas Sniper School.
Guard. So we're not allowed to play with it.
I know one of the guys that put that program together.
Okay. I got out of basic and our unit was deployed. So I was on the rear det. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And if you're on a rear det, it's either everybody who's broken and then like the guys who just got out of basic. Oh, okay. So I was like one of the only dudes. There was like 3 of us. And in Vermont, the first thing before you're allowed to go to any school is you have to go through mountain warfare school. And so I immediately went through that. I fucking killed it. And it was like just me that passed. And at that point, they're like, oh, you're an 11 Chuck. So like I had like the old Vietnam era vest because I'm the Chuck. So I had the Eli's uniform. And
is that an old joke on Eli? Oh, okay. I mean, Eli and I
did an Asian joke.
We did go through like 4 Vietnam, camo patterns in our career.
Old joke. I'm gonna go. So I went through that, and at that point they're like, "There's no point in having a mountain warfare qualified Chuck." So you're a Bravo again. Go hang out with the scout platoon. And there, I went through air assault because that was fun. And I did a bunch of other mountain warfare stuff. Like I was a lead climber for ICE, so advanced assault climbing school, which is just learning.
You don't look like a climber.
I used to be, but before I had a stroke. But thanks for bringing that up.
You had a stroke?
It was like a weird minor stroke of it. It's easy to just say it was like a minor stroke because I was blind. Stroke. I couldn't. I'd stroke all the time.
Wait, what? What?
Yeah. Well, we'll get there. Okay. We'll get there. So assault climber. I was a lead ice climber. I was in great shape.
Just like throw that in there. Yeah, it's right after my stroke. Anyway, so air assault school, the hardest 10 days in the middle. Wait, back to the
did you go to real air assault or did you go to the
MTT,
the mobile one?
I went to an MTT in Virginia. Okay. Yeah. Then I went through the mountain warfare sniper and sniper. I think that was it. I think that's all.
Is that a high angle sniper course?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Does it make you feel insecure sitting next to a Hero and Purple Heart recipient, Eli Cuevas?
Enemy Marksmanship Award.
And old enough to possibly be your father.
Dad? Mom?
I love that yesterday someone was at Jared's house and Eli's there, and I was like, yeah, Eli's actually the oldest one here. And they're like, wait, what? I thought you were like 23. He's like,
I thought you were
I'm
the kid
35.
Yeah, I'm the old one.
I thought you were the kid brother.
You told them I had a Purple Heart too, and they're like, oh my God, thank you. I'm like, you don't thank me for the what? Question mark?
Oh my God,
shot, motherfucker. Don't thank me for getting shot.
I don't think we've ever told that story. So Eli caught pretty much a grazing AK wound, and I didn't know for years that he had a Purple Heart. And once I found out, he's like, I don't tell anybody because like I don't feel like I deserve it comparatively to other people's injuries. So of course, him having some insecurity in that award means I'm going to say that every time I'm at a bar. I'm like, man, Eli's a war hero.
He got shot. You see his face? That happened because of the war.
And the weirdest part about
beard anymore.
Weirdest part about Black Rifle, we have 2, maybe 3 people that have been shot in basic training.
Yeah, that's what's fucked up.
I heard about this.
Jack Mandeville's
Jack
one.
Mandeville was shot in basic, and Marty Scoveland was
Marty
shot in basic.
Scoveland. And I think there's one other one. I'm like, that's really weird.
How did we get everybody that got shot in basic?
I mean, y'all got to stick together.
I didn't get shot in basic training or in war. So
they didn't even let us shoot in basic training because I was in the Air Force.
Yeah.
I mean, they let us look at a picture of a gun.
They give you the
hey, that's
this
a rifle.
is the trigger, don't touch it. But it's a picture, don't touch it.
If you see one of these, don't touch it. If you see somebody carrying one of these, don't talk to them.
Right. They gave you blue rubber duckies to do your marksmanship qualifications. You just go,
No, they just showed us they wheeled in a TV on a thing, and then they put in a VHS, and it just.
Do you actually shoot guns in Air Force basic training? That's a real question.
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
What,
I mean, it's terrifying.
You actually shoot?
Yes,
the Air
terrifying.
Force lets you.
Yes, they do, and it's terrifying. They shouldn't. There's no reason. There's no reason why anybody should shoot in Air Force basic training. There's no reason why anybody majorly in the Air Force should shoot. And like the Air Force just needs to come to terms with, hi, we're the nerds. So come over here. We're going to do nerd stuff because it's still required to operate satellites and advanced avionics systems. We're good. Get rid of PT and shooting. Air Force, just let them exist. I don't care if the guy that knows how to fix the F-22 is 900 pounds. He knows how to fix the F-22.
I'm a nerd because of the Air Force. My grandfather was in the Air Force. He was a giant computer nerd. That first computer I got
was the first one in the Air Force.
Probably. He was
Took it from Area 51. Took up our whole spare bedroom. Running tape.
That's actually like a little bit of a rant I have is the DOD and other government agencies are so fucking terrible at like training people to have firearms and then letting them carry them in combat. Like I've seen so many people ND, like specifically as a contractor, because they send them to a week course and they're like, here's your gun, carry it overseas. You're like, can we make that like 2 weeks longer and maybe have them shoot and know how to clear their weapon a little better? It's just terrifying.
I'm saying, come to terms with who we are. Like, stop having an identity crisis. The Air Force has to deal with a lot of technology. Let's recruit people that are good at technology, not on their physical ability or their ability to manipulate weaponry. We don't need that's what the Army and the Marines are for.
Yeah, but maybe like a little physical fitness. I've when I used to drive.
Still, I'm going to ask you this then.
Okay.
If homeboy that can hack everything in China in less than 6 seconds is out of shape, do we want him on our side, or do we want to say, hey, you can't do a push-up, so we don't want you?
No, I say we want him on our side, but we also want his health to be good so he doesn't die of cardiac arrest or get a stroke at the age of 23.
We can give him advice, 25. But
25. He's a guess.
Listen, that's a whole new can that we're not even going to open up right now. Because you're just going to make me scared because I don't want to change my diet.
Speaking about cans, Baddie's currently drinking RTD, one of our canned options, espresso with cream, available at blackriflecoffee.com. Moreover, it is in the coffee club, so you could be on a reoccurring subscription with their RTD. It's being very well received, and we're working on some new SKUs. We're stoked for it. You drink that a lot, don't you?
It's a problem, honestly.
I've actually, he's right.
I love when people are like, yeah, like, because we kind of worked the sponsoring thing with you, and you're like, can you send me more? Because I'll just literally drink these all the time. Like, then you're behind the product. That means it's great.
I used my own code to buy 3 cases. It's like, Baddie,
you use your own code.
I'm not joking.
They're going to be so proud of me.
I did. I have a bone to pick with the marketing department a little bit because I was really trying to hold off on your code for as long as I could because I can make a code in literally 2 seconds on my phone. And I'm like, let's just keep having a mask.
Oh, I got those texts daily.
It was fun. For a while, me and Kings were talking about it. We were just like, I'm just going to text Eli every day. I'm like, hey, man, what's going on, Eli? How you doing? You're like, oh, I'm good. I'm like, where's my fucking code?
God,
I don't care. Shut up. Where's my code?
It's good shit. Well, it's kind of cool to see like a veteran come into the gaming space and stuff. And I think you can tell with your chat, at least for me, do you guys get a lot of military questions? I feel like that's probably the most in my chat. And I never know what to respond because people are like, I want to be a ranger. What should I do? And I'm like, could you ask me a more general fucking question? It's just like, don't be a pussy and work out. I mean, like that's about the two things that
survive.
Don't breathing.
Don't quit.
Literally,
Join the Air Force.
That's a good thing to talk because a lot of us have been through separate selection processes, and sniper school was actually pretty damn competitive. Not
the one in Arkansas.
Not the one in Arkansas. But people
it's
that
actually ran by the Air Force.
We shoot out an Air Force base. Really? Some of it, Little Rock Air Force Base. Yeah.
What do you have to do at the end of sniper school? Is that real? Where you have to like hit those targets and not be seen and move?
Yeah.
around?
So your last like test, if you will, you have to. There's a ton of fuck. Well, I shouldn't say it's not your last test, but it's like the most important one is your stock.
Walk us through that because I know fuck all about sniper school. I never went.
So they drop you off on a big ass fucking range, and you have your fresh ghillie suit. You have to drop in. You have to throw all your brush and shit on.
Veg up,
look like a bush.
Veg up,
and then you have to basically just stalk in, get in as close as you can. And while you're doing it, there's also 30 other people around you doing the same fucking thing. And you have to get within, I think they say they don't want you closer than 100 because they want you to be able to range estimate how far you really are because you're not given like a range or a rangefinder or anything like that. So you got to move in, you get on target, you got a couple blanks on you, and you have to fire a shot. And then you have to, the people who are looking are going to be like, oh, who's firing a shot? There's walkers just walking around the whole time you're out there as well. You fire your shot, they just kind of walk within like 5 meters of you or 3 meters of you, I think it is. And then they just kind of stand there. And the people on a truck you're shooting at with these blanks have spotting scopes and binos, and they have to find you. They're going to try to walk this guy in directly on top of you, and he'll put a stick on your head, or he'll just fucking stand on you half the time.
And if they find you, you're a no call?
No go on that thing. So You fire your shot, and then that's the first thing. And they'll hold up a letter, like an E or an echo, whatever the fuck, and you can have them position it around them at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, whatever. You identify the letter, and at that point, they'll try to spot you a second time, and the walker will get within like a meter of you, and they have to try to, like, they're just looking at you at that point. And if they still can't figure out where you are, and they'll be like, he's at your right foot, sniper at your feet, or something like that. And if you're not there, you're good, even though they know you're somewhere within that range. If they can't see you, the coolest thing about it, the best thing about it is at that point you're passed. You don't need to exfil, but if you want bonus points, you can exfil and not get caught. So
Did
a lot
you
of times,
exfil?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
I had to retest on one thing at sniper school, and it was I went with 3 guys all from Vermont, and one of the guys couldn't see trace. He couldn't spot around very well. And at one of the tests is a 50 cal, the 107 unknown distance. And you kind of need a spotter for shooting real fucking far. And spotting for a 50 is like watching a bus fly through the air.
Yeah.
And you couldn't see
yeah.
it. So what I ended up doing is, for myself, I was basically self-spotting through the 50, trying to just figure out where the fuck I was hitting. Retested on that, but I didn't really need to.
How many chances do you have to pass that qual of not getting spotted by the instructors?
You have 1 retest with it.
You have 1 retest?
Yep.
Okay.
It's just like most Army things. You have a retest, retrain, and then the next day or whatever, you'll go back into it. It's a 2-phase school. You have your first phase, which is mostly just M24, your bolt gun stuff, just precision shooting. Then you move into your second phase, which is your stocks, and then the 50, your 110s. And a lot of times what happens is you'll lose a huge chunk of people on that first phase, and then they'll reinsert, another 15, 20 people to just do the second phase.
Well, Baddie, if it makes you feel any better, I was chugging along through Ranger School, was getting some major pluses, Darby, Mountains. I was like, dude, I might get honor grad here, dude. This is going to be good. And then I got 3 no-goes in Florida, and I recycled. So now I stick with Real Rangers Recycle.
That actually, like,
great.
that shouldn't make him feel better at all, because you were in a really hard school, not a National Guard, like
okay.
of an Army school.
Real quick, active duty soldiers go to the Benning or the Arkansas school too.
Look at him trying to justify Arkansas for Benning.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like saying the Guard had a Ranger course.
That's a
Like,
weird part.
hey, we hold this Ranger course up in Arizona where the weather's real nice. It's actually 31 days.
I was
It's
like,
a week at each place.
I look back at like Ranger School because it's like, so Ranger Battalion sends you to a private pre-Ranger course. It's not open to the Army. And they
shit, right?
Well, that's before to go to the actual
okay,
unit, but you go to a pre-Ranger to acclimate, and they literally just smoke your balls before Ranger School for like 10 days, I think it is. I forget. They force feed you, which is nice, so you're really full. But I'm like, I don't know why we're getting our balls crushed right before we go to Ranger School. And the weird part for Ranger School for me was the go, no-go criteria was so drastically different compared to, like, it was hyper dependent on your RI and your instructor. And I mean, I'm not blaming or making excuses, but my no-goes in Florida were the worst. I mean, one of them was a mass kill. They killed everybody other than the people that were getting reviewed for their positions. And I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to maneuver a unit when you killed 25 people? And like, show me your leadership. I'm like, who do you want me to fucking lead? They're all dead. And it was
Who do you want me to fuck? I'll fuck something.
And that's after 60-something days of school, and people are like falling asleep during ambushes, because they're so tired. You're like, this is fucked. But hey, it wasn't that hard. Yeah, it was no fucking Arkansas.
Yeah, it was. No, dude. One time the Outlook server went out in the Air Force, and I had to stay up until like 11:30. Bro, my eyes were like just closing. I'm sitting on the computer like this.
So, like, what's next for you, man? Because you were crushing in Twitch. Your numbers are going up. Is this something you're going to pursue?
Porn.
Porn? Okay.
Why not? Why not?
It's a big career change.
Yeah.
Why not?
With cameras. Right?
I mean, because you got the earrings and the hair, you don't really have a lot of employment opportunities outside of.
Yeah, this is kind of your last ditch effort here, Baddie. It's like you're 30 years old, you got no job experience.
Great. I'm just saying.
Dude, I wonder, does anybody have that data, the increase of Patreon and OnlyFans since the...
Oh, I'm sure you...
I'm going to dive into those numbers.
Yeah.
Kurt, will you look that up?
Can we just put a graph
in the last
going
3
like
months
this?
since the quarantine or social distancing, how much those platforms increased in their subscribers and their clients.
You know,
That has to be like
I'm going to say like
astronomical.
300%.
I think you would increase numbers if you started shooting porn. You would start converting people from Pornhub to go watch you stream.
Obviously.
This
And
is-
my Pornhub would have a great start because everybody on Twitch would be like, well,
You should take
I
all
got to
of
see a
your
fat
business.
ginger fuck.
I think you should try it.
You should take all your business advice from Jared for a month and see what happens.
Yeah. You'll
Yeah,
make a lot of money.
Financials specifically.
After the money shot, you
Oh, do not. Yeah, I would help you drastically.
just finishing with
Yeah.
your money shot, you're like, oh, follow me on Twitch. It's like pushing it to that. It's like, this is a weird transition.
blast out onto a Twitch.
This is the weirdest Twitch ad ever. Her entire
Super
back
funny.
is tattooed with your Twitch.
Just a tramp stamp with my name on it.
Yeah. Hey.
That's actually let's
Oh, no.
let's dive into like how aggressive ad
Could
agencies
we-
are going to go because everything is an advert at this
Yeah.
point in your life. You know, you're watching ads everywhere. I wonder why they're not doing like henna tattoos
Yes.
in the back of porn stars.
I think we should start that.
Because remember, like when MMA first came out, it was like they had
Eli on my
all
ass.
over the shorts, and there was people
Don't
putting
do
like stickers on their body
Yeah.
of. Why isn't
I'm gonna
you think porn
actually
can do that?
message some girls on Instagram the next time they go film for porn. I want my Twitch on their back.
It could work.
I'll pay them.
I'll watch it.
It could work.
Did you get a temporary tattoo on a porn star?
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, I did.
it's probably going to happen.
I think this is hilarious.
You could try that.
I'm going to sample it.
Yeah, I'm going to hold off on that, but I
Okay.
think that'd be good for you.
Yeah, I'm in.
On brand.
Based off
It's
of
on
your
brand.
your Black Rifle shirt that you're wearing right now. It's only,
This comes out actually on the 27th of May.
Girl's going to have your Twitch, your discount code for Lord
the
Hot Dog.
discount
Just
code.
everything on her back.
It's just she looks like a NASCAR racer.
It's a NASCAR cup.
She's just wrapped a driving suit with a butt zipper.
Where would the premium sponsorship space be?
Lower back.
Because you got your hood
And
decal,
shoulder-
then you got your quarter panel.
Yeah, shoulder blades. They're always in frame.
Yep, you're good. Good call.
Watch
Good
a
call.
lot of doggy style porn.
I mean, oh, that's the line. That's the line for you. That's it. Oh, that's the line.
Welcome
No, it's fine.
Welcome
no, I
to
get
Free
it.
Range America.
well, we just had some audio issues. My bad.
got a drink.
He's got his caffeine. Jared needed caffeine. My Shure 7B went down, but we got a new one. So, yeah.
All's good in the hood.
I didn't even know where we were. Tell us a story, Baddie.
I had a stroke.
Yeah, that story.
I'm curious.
Oh, that's
Really?
hilarious.
So it wasn't a real stroke. I had like it was like a freak accident. It started from an ear infection.
Like you do.
Duh.
Now you're making me scared of every ear infection.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's gonna fuck you up a little bit. I had an inner ear infection, and so an inner ear infection is a little different than a regular ear infection. You don't feel it like on the outside. There's no swelling or pain. I didn't even know I fucking had an ear infection. I just couldn't hear very well out of my ears, and it turned out to be some kind of fucking virus that attacked my equilibrium and my ocular vestibular nerve, which is the nerve between your ears and eyes and shit. And it just like shut it off one day. Like you ever stand up off a couch too quick and you get a little dizzy or something like that? It was like that, but it didn't stop. So I was just dizzy at first, like minor vertigo. And then like 5 minutes later, I tried to just sitting down, and I was dizzy sitting down. Then I fell over, and then I couldn't move.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, like straight up. I had it was just such intense vertigo. My body and my equilibrium didn't know where it was anymore. So my brain inadvertently shut my eyes off, so I went blind. Because when your equilibrium stops, your body has certain senses. Like you have your touch, your contact points. Like my ass sitting on this chair, your eyes visually seeing, then your equilibrium telling you where you are. When one of those goes down, your body freaks the fuck out. So my eyes started flicking back and forth like fast. It looked like a horror movie, which is called a nystagmus, a horizontal nystagmus, because it was my brain trying to get my eyes to scan to figure out where it was in space. So I couldn't. I had to be, they had to get me to the hospital and shit. And I was
Control Alt Delete, man.
dude, for real. And I was completely blind for like a week. I couldn't walk or move. I couldn't sit up for a while. I had to walk with it. Eventually, they're all just like, it might get better. I was like, fuck, well, this is it. And this was as I was ETSing out of the Army at the time, out of the Guard at the time. It was like December 2015 or something, like November 2015. And it was just like the weirdest, it just out of nowhere, no issue.
How quick was the diagnosis? Were the doctors like, oh yeah, this is an inner ear infection, this is what's going on? Or were they like,
it took a couple days, yeah.
Okay.
It was the military.
No, God, fuck that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't.
How long could you not see then?
About a week.
Oh,
And I said I couldn't see for like 6 days, and then for
was
about
that fucking terrifying?
it was the terrifying part is when they say we don't know how long it's going to last. I was like, well, fuck, this is it. I'm done.
So you've essentially been blind for a week. Is that
It
must be
was
gnarly.
fucking terrifying. Eventually, by like day 6, my left eye, I could kind of start my eyes because the whole time my eyes were twitching. Just like no, it was super exhausting. It was weird, a weird feeling. And by that day, if I like looked down in the bottom left corner of my left eye only, I could see my eye would stop twitching slightly enough, so it was just slightly moving there, and I could see. So I was like using my phone like this and shit. And after a few more days, it slowed down. You know, I still had nystagmus. I couldn't walk like for shit. I had to use a cane for like 3 months because I have no balance, and I have no balance now. Like, or just a second ago when we were in the back office and I stood up too quick, I was like, oh, here we go. I just start to fall over.
You start racking your brain. You're like, man, the Army told me to go out to that weird patch of land and start cleaning up all that.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, but it's like they told me to clean up all that, that DU waste and stuff like that.
Yeah, they put like a gas mask on you, and you're like, what am I cleaning up this green goo for? I don't think this is safe.
Vermont, it's just like, it's for the state.
my arms are tingly.
Just give you leather work gloves.
Leather work gloves with hospital gloves over the leather work gloves. It's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Dude, that is gnarly.
Yeah. So my equilibrium at this point is basically shot. As long as I'm sitting down, or it's really I have issues when I'm standing or walking. Because it's that thing where I don't have that I don't have many points of contact. When you're standing, it's just your 2 feet on the ground, and as soon as you start taking a step, it's just a single foot on the ground. So my body's just like, where the fuck am I going? And even more so if I like turn my head while I'm walking a direction, my body doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
I can't wait to fuck with him with this.
Dude, I mean, Eli, see that? I walk like I'm drunk no matter what. It doesn't matter, which is great because when I'm drunk, it's like I'm the same guy.
So is it progressively getting better, or is it kind of at a sustained point?
It's just it took about I'd say 6 months before I was able to like just be like.
You realize if you ever get pulled over and they do a DUI, you're fucked. You're like, no,
yeah.
I swear I had kind of a stroke. It was an equilibrium.
Listen,
the cop's going to be like,
the only thing I'm taking away from this is you're not
hood.
staying at my house. I don't want to catch this shit.
It was in 2015.
Well, you guess
I'll wear a condom. It's fine.
You're going to wear a mask.
I know Baddie doesn't give us COVID-19. He gives us equilibrium disease.
All of us are just...
I mean, as long as you close your eyes and you don't stand up, it's fine.
Matt's dick falls off. It's like,
Whoa. Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bob. No. That's my lifeline.
Oh, no.
To sustenance.
Well, that's gnarly, man.
Yeah,
what else you got going on? So you're just focusing on Twitch, grow your platform. You got any other stuff you're trying to do, like now kick back on YouTube, do highlights? I mean, you see a lot of cross-promotional stuff going on now. Are you?
I mean, you're going to be the first person that holds like a metal concert.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. I guess a little bit. I'm trying to work that shit out with Phil from All That Remains, which
I think that's going to be really, really
unreal.
Cool. Yes. You're playing.
Well, I mean, like I already have like the concert set up. Like
the
amount of people that tell me when I have shit go off, it's like I'm watching a concert like for 5 hours. And, to actually try to incorporate an actual concert.
This is going to be, I think you're going to get a lot of earned media off this. I think Metal magazines they're going to take a note, and I'm super excited for it.
I mean, you are putting on a full.
I mean, I know I don't call it streaming anymore. I'm putting on a show. It's a
broadcast.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Like, what are your average? So you stream for 8 to 10 hours. What's your average view time? It has to be like 8.
It's honestly almost like 5 or 6 hours.
That's like people.
A single
individual. Yeah, is the average is they're sitting there for 5 hours.
Like on a bad day, it's like my average watch time is like 4.5 hours, which is.
That's 2 movies on Netflix.
Yeah. It's
I mean, honestly,
I
with
can't
what's on
stand
Netflix
myself
now, I'd rather fucking watch this asshole.
No, it's great. There's so many interesting complexities with like streaming, especially with video games too, because there's this thing called stream sniping, and I've become aware of it. But what people do is they'll load the game right when you're loading, and then they'll just watch your stream and try to off you. And I've seen multiple times where I've just RPG'd and killed a team, and they're like, damn it, Matt just killed me. And I'm like, you little son of a bitch.
That's what stream sniping is, huh?
Yeah.
Good thing I don't play games where I'm against each other. Even though it might seem like it if you come into, like when we were running into each other, but that's on purpose.
Dude, Tarkov, that's why in Tarkov,
problem,
you hide what lobby you're going into. We Discord text it. We don't say where we're going. Because in Tarkov, especially with Clean, you have thousands of people that will just wait there and like, what lobby are they going into? You join, and then everyone knows you're populating that lobby. They'll join, and then they just wait and watch to kill you.
Because it's
that's
like,
fucked up.
It's like a permadeath game. Like when you die, you lose all your gear. It's not like you just load in for the next map or you pick your loadout or you find shit. It's you bring in your super important shit. And if you die, somebody else can take all your shit and it's gone.
That reminds me of like back in the day when in the military or contracting and we would play like Call of Duty on a split screen.
Screen watching.
There was like straight
peeking, man.
Dude, straight people almost got into fist fights and then they would build like the cardboard. The barriers. I swear to God, if you look at my screen, I'm going to kill you. We're like, what? It's a game. It's a game. It's chill.
Yeah.
But I mean, those games, like we talked about this on a previous podcast, but man, some of the prize pools on these things are getting crazy. And I was watching a media outlet kind of discrediting people that play video games. It's like, how do you discredit a 17-year-old kid that just won $1 million in a tournament? Like, I think you're just jealous that the kid played and won $1 million.
Didn't you win something and then they just fucked you over out of surprise money?
So good.
I was in a big Twitch-sponsored tournament and
you won.
Well, I didn't win.
I
would have. We placed like 6th overall, which still would have earned money, but I didn't because the team I was on forgot to tell me that they weren't allowed to earn money.
Because why?
Because it was Team Army.
Getting that Army dick one last
5 years
time.
out.
Why couldn't
5 years out?
Why couldn't they have just given you all the prize money?
I mean, you're thinking right now. Has anybody here has anyone tried to put logical thought?
Is that why I got? Is that why they pushed me out of the military?
No,
stop thinking.
You need to stop it right now.
That thing that you're doing over there sounds like it makes sense. Get him the fuck out of here. Get him out of the building.
The text was great. It was just you were like, I just got fucked by the Army again
after
5 years. It's like, what happened? Oh, the team didn't tell me I'm not going to earn any money.
Live on air. I was like. Because, we're all everybody who was in this tournament was on this big group chat, and they're showing the standings on live on air. I'm like, oh, they didn't show our team. Where's Team Army on there? And they're like, oh, yeah. And then they showed us a little side bracket where we scored. I'm like, no, but why aren't we on the rankings with everybody else with the prize pool? Oh, you guys don't qualify for that. And I'm like, the fuck?
Dude, it's a bizarre world, too, because, like, the Army is investing a lot of money and National Guard into streaming from official DoD affiliates like active duty for recruitment purposes. And it makes sense, but it
makes
crazy.
sense because they're telling us we're going to all drones.
That is true.
Yeah. Hey. They're like, General Dynamics is almost ready to pull out the fake humans. We need our pilots. Where are we going to get them from?
I never got like the Warzone stuff, but like if you're playing DCS, that'd be a great way to condition people to be pilots.
No, I mean even the Warzone when we have
look at all your kids. Everybody wants to fucking play Call of Duty. Everyone wants to be in esports, and suddenly you're telling me I can play video games in the Army too? Like,
yeah,
I
all
get paid
12
to play?
of them.
What? Where the fuck was this when I was in, man?
I wouldn't have. That would have been boring. I wanted to shoot people in the face.
Yeah,
Anyways.
I'm not joining the Army to play video
Sniper
games.
did to play.
It's funny. It's interesting to see my friends' MOSs and how that gameplay is kind of very relevant to what they did. I mean, I'm always the guy that's like Leroy, just assault, push as fast as I can because that's just the Ranger in me. And then you have like the snipers that are like, I'm just going to chill in this building and pull Overwatch. And it's so funny how
I love sniping in games. I absolutely love sniping, and like that's the crazy part, man. I loved sniping video games before I became a sniper, and it's not like I wanted to become a sniper. There was no like I'm going to the Army to be a sniper. And I was like, no, I'm just gonna drop mortar rounds, I guess. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, now you're gonna be a sniper.
Now I'm a sniper. If if the FBI ever needs you for like a crazy sniping mission, how can they find you? You
can find me over on twitch.tv/Baddie, Baddie.
Because you've been to the Arkansas Sniper School. FBI guys out there, if you need a good shot,
National Sniper Comp, 4th place. Just saying.
If you need 4th place,
third loser.
I will take third fucking loser all day. Are you kidding me?
Those sniper comps are crazy,
dude.
They're hard.
It was not fun. I had like the entire bottom of my foot peel off from a blister and that shit. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, that's nasty. I had a dude in Rip Rasp. No, now he's same thing. The whole bottom of his feet came off.
It was
just
the
raw,
worst.
Just sloshed
And I
off.
kind of made fun of him, and he tried to punch me in the face. He's a friend of mine. But looking back, that was probably outside of the joke because it was a selection process, and he had no pads on his feet, and he still rucked 15 miles to pass. And you're like, you a hard motherfucker, dude. Because as a civilian, I would have been like 2 weeks off, just like, nope,
I ain't moving.
But you got to do what you got to do. Well, that's awesome. So yeah, Baddie, Baddie. Is it Bad Die or Baddie?
Bad Die.
Bad Die.
No, it's Baddie.
Where did that come from?
PewDiePie, like Pew.
Where did it come from? So the failed YouTube channel I made was called Bad Friends Gaming, and that was my original Twitch name. Because I'm just a shitty friend. I'm just a really bad friend. Like, I'm not good. Don't count on me for shit.
I mean, you got on your plane this morning.
So
far we're doing good.
Missed my
Well,
flight.
no, that's because he wants to benefit from the listeners to hopefully populate his Twitch TV.
Yeah.
I know what he's doing. He's using us.
Yeah,
So
he's
this
still
is
looking out for
kiss you
himself.
out.
This
Leave me
is
alone.
self-motivated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. We're
Bad
still gonna hang
friend.
out with
I
you.
just said that.
I mean, he's a
people
bad
got
bitch.
sick of calling me, "Hey, what's up, Bad Friends Gaming?" So it got shortened to Baddie, and
Makes sense.
That's not even an acronym.
no shit. But it's easier to say Baddie than Bad Friends Gaming.
You could have come up with
You're
something
trying to do
more
that
creative.
logic shit again. Stop
Listen, let's
Stop it.
let's roll his song right here.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
right.
We made a song for him.
We did. Well, let's promote because everybody here's on Twitch. And
everybody
what's your
is now.
Twitch?
I am twitch.tv/JTArticle15, same as my Instagram.
Yeah.
And I only do one flying game.
Eli_double tap.
There you go.
That's it. That's all you got.
That's it.
That's
I play video games and do an Asian accent from time to time, and
Yep, that's it. I'm Matt Best 11X. There you go. Well, Baddie, absolute pleasure, man.
Matt Best 11X.
Matt Best 11X.
Not M Best 11X.
Matt Best 11X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get the
One
we
T.
gotta,
Always one T.
We got to get it
Always one
clear
T.
out there.
Always one
There you
T.
go.
No, man, it's been really fun to work with you, and I'm serious, man. Your stream is one of my favorites. It's like I try to go into other people's, and I'm just like bored out of my mind because I like entertainment and in your face shit. So keep up the good work, man, and I'm sure we'll be doing plenty of stuff together. And thanks for coming to Texas, and we'll have a good weekend.
cool. Fuck yeah.
All right, we'll see you next Career in America, guys. Thanks.